Research Focus, Beyond Deficiency, Civic Development in Immigrant Youth. In 1996, Cynthia Garcia Call and her colleagues authored a landmark article in which they called for attention to minority children and their developmental competencies. The late 1990s were generally years during which many developmental scholars called for a broadening of developmental psychology, away from one-size-fits-all theories based on the majority culture, and toward more attention to the overlooked and distinctive competencies of minority groups. Garcia Call and her colleagues argued that, measured against the standards of the majority, children of minority social class, culture, ethnicity, or race were often found to be deficient. They urged developmental psychologists to move beyond these deficiency models. Specifically, they encouraged new theory and research that start by taking into account social position variables, such as class, and that aim to uncover developmental competencies. Research on civic development has seen changes according to the approach urged by Garcia Call and her colleagues. Traditionally, research on civic involvement focused on voting and support for political parties. By these measures, there is little reason to pay attention to children or adolescents since they cannot vote. Indeed, for a long time, there was very little research on civic development. Essentially, the mainstream models pertain to politics and adults. However, research on citizenship can include not only voting and involvement with political parties, but also more general involvement with others in the community, such as community service. Recently, researchers have further highlighted how minority youth may opt for different kinds of civic involvement than majority youth, and how they may make use of a different set of competencies. For example, research with immigrant youth in the United States shows that they are less likely than native-born youth to be involved in conventional political activities, such as displaying political campaign signs, but more likely to be involved in political activism, such as participating in a protest march. Immigrant youth are also more likely to be involved in civic activities where they put to use their multilingual and bicultural skills, such as translating documents. Furthermore, immigrant youth, who often come from cultures oriented to interdependence, emphasize that they take part in civic activities on the basis of collectivistic motives. The civic development of immigrant youth, then, is not deficient, but different. It involves distinctive behaviors, motives, and skills that contribute to positive civic development.